Okay, now we're live. I think we're on.
Yeah, it says live.
Yeah, I think we're all good. We're all here. And Hancock wants us to read this poem.
Candy up for grabs.
What?
Yes. Is it yours, Liz?
No, I said it is.
Oh, it is. Oh, I thought you said yes. So good to be
So,
totally.
Such a good one. We're having a meeting.
Fighting with my computer. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you doing this thing?
Yeah, we're gonna go. Yeah.
hi in the background there.
Just eating M&M's in the background.
Grab chocolate, go back to your office. Okay, well, really, talk about assignment for Hancock's class, and it's about Sonnet 130. It's William Shakespeare, I guess. And
I didn't realize that.
he gave us questions. Liz, are you going to write the report this time? It says we have to choose somebody each time and rotate it. So,
All I wanted to
why don't
do
you start out and write the
Yeah,
report?
you can do it.
I'll do it. I'm on it.
Well,
So-
thanks. You're the best.
Maybe some notes while we're talking about all this. That'll be good. It's cool how we all saw a little notification up on the little bell in the right-hand corner, and then we clicked on it and joined the Google chat, and that's what brought us all together. He said, trying to teach people how they could get on. Anyways,
Yeah.
we're here now, and we have a sonnet, and we have questions. And so, let's find our question. Just a second. I'm finding my question here. Where did I put it? I guess it's just in my. Can you still see me right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Can we choose to stay on one person? Okay. Cool.
Let me check my Google Mail real quick so that I can go through and find the questions. We want all the right questions here. Maybe it would have been better if I printed all this out beforehand.
I have them here if you want.
You're always so prepared, Liz.
Thanks.
I'm glad you're in our group.
Here, why don't I screen share with you?
What does this poem have to say about beauty? And that seems like all the other questions have to do with beauty, so let's skip that one for a while. What does comparison have to do with beauty? What do you guys think? Kind of a weird question.
That's interesting. Comparison.
Well,
Miranda?
Yeah, what does comparison have to do with beauty in this poem? I imagine he means in this poem. Like
Something I learned in an anthropology class is like that every different culture has different ideals of what beauty is. Like for instance, in a lot of Asian cultures, being tan is not seen as being like beautiful, whereas with North American culture, like everybody that moves to BYU Hawaii wants to go out and get a tan at the beach. So it seems like maybe comparing people or cultures and their definitions of beauty is a little arbitrary because everyone has a different definition. So you can't hold someone to a different standard of beauty. Does that make sense?
Okay. So what does he compare her to? Because it says, like, what objects does this speaker use to try to describe his lover? Why did he use them?
he uses things in nature mostly, which mostly to me look like things that are often used to describe women. You've got the eyes, like the sun, and the coral for the red. No.
So why don't we do that? Why don't we make a little list? Like, the first one's the sun. So, like, why does he use the sun?
Well, the sun would be like a guiding light that would give life to things, and if her eyes are the source of light, then that would be something he would use, I guess.
Okay. So does that work for him pretty well? One of the questions is, how does comparison fall short? He's comparing her to the sun, but like, he doesn't sound like he's like, I don't know.
But
Like,
he said like they're not like the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of hard.
Yeah, I wasn't in that part.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Like my color like the sun, but not like the sun. Like
He has the same,
I
He's
don't know.
kind of like dissing her the whole time. Like,
teaching.
saying all these things are more red or more white or like that line where he talked about like in perfumes there's more delight than in the breath from his mistress. Like just saying that a lot of other things are better quality than how she appears with his nature comparisons.
But he could be avoiding the fact that comparison always does fall short. Like, you can never be like the sun because we aren't the sun. So, I mean, of course the sun is more beautiful than her eyes because it's the sun and she's not the sun. So it's like he's one-upping you. Like, you're going to say, she can't be like the sun, and he's going to be like, I know that.
Plus, like the sun, like is really cool.
Accounted for it.
Unless you look right at the sun, and then like it's not very cool because that would hurt.
Right. You would like become blind.
Yeah, I mean you can't be the sun, right? You can't be. If you are the sun, then that would be like the coolest thing, but it's not the coolest thing because it would like hurt.
Good
And
point.
It comes down to the last line in the poem where it talks about false compare, as his love is greater than those comparisons. Like, those comparisons cannot capture his feelings.
And so,
Yeah.
Yeah. So why does he? But why like go so far? Like with the part about her reeking. Like why point out that she smells bad? Like her breath smells bad.
Maybe to show like that, like especially like pairing that with the last line, like maybe he's saying that anything that could possibly be wrong with her, like even if she smells a little, still great, and she's still his love, you know, and like where he says, and yet by heaven, I think my love is rare. So like,
He'll be in Monday.
usually we don't bring like celestial elements or like heaven into things that we take lightly. So, and if we think she's rare, then usually rare means like in a good way.
It's okay because sometimes you're
So did you go home for a little bit?
like wife or husband's breath's gonna stink in the morning, and that's okay.
Right? Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, you're laughing, right? You're not married.
You guys are not no
There it is.
I am. I can attest to that.
Husband has
Morning. You're like, okay, let's brush our teeth first, but I still love you. You know, like, yeah,
We've been hearing a
I
little
get
bit,
it.
you know. They ask,
Makes a lot more sense now.
what's going on?
Yeah, and like when he comes back from the gym, like he smells pretty bad. Don't show your students.
Well, we were in,
Like everybody smells bad when they come back from the gym, you know. But I still love my husband when he comes back from the gym.
So does this speaker think his lover is beautiful? It asks us.
Think his lover is what?
So we just got back on Wednesday.
Think this person's beautiful, or does his lover
When did you
know
get
she's not beautiful?
I think he loves her despite this.
Okay, so he thinks she's not beautiful.
so good to see you.
Yeah.
It's so good to see you. Yes, please come in and see.
I will.
He will
Do you
be.
think
It's so
Miranda?
now people are.
I can't hear the question. What was the question?
Oh, does he think she's beautiful or not?
I just saw her.
I think it's possible to think that someone is beautiful even if they're not as beautiful as something else. Like, we don't have to be as beautiful as the sun to still be beautiful, or she doesn't have to be as beautiful as a supermodel to still be beautiful in his eyes. So, I don't know. I feel like what he compares her to isn't necessarily related to how beautiful he thinks she is.
So maybe we don't even know if she's beautiful.
Yeah, like I'm kind of, I don't know. Like maybe he's not really sure either. You know what I mean? Like if he can come up with this clear of a list of things that she doesn't measure up to in his eyes, or that he thinks other people wouldn't see her as being as beautiful as those things. Like, he's giving concession to the fact that maybe she's not, like, the most amazing looking woman he's ever seen, but I think he can still find her beautiful because of the last two lines.
But even if he says false compare at the end, maybe he thinks no woman, right? Because he said the most beautiful
Right.
woman, even maybe the most beautiful woman he's ever seen is like a little bit stinky.
Right. Yeah.
Still
Maybe
not.
he was like really feminist. And talking, it was a way to say that we shouldn't place really lofty comparisons on women and their beauty. Because yeah, how can you measure up to the sun or the beauty of nature? You just are who you are.
So hey, Elizabeth, did that give you enough material to work with to write the paper?
So is our thesis that this is a feminist poem about how beauty in women is over-exaggerated?
I like it.
That works for me.
Yep.
Just make sure you put in all those lines that we talked about. Because we talked about all sorts of specific lines in the poem, why they were important.
Lots of citations.
Yeah, make sure to take it to the Reading Writing Center.
And you could look back at this video, be able to remember what they were, even if you weren't taking notes, but you should still take notes because then you don't have to watch the whole video. But if you were in doubt, you can go back and watch this video.
Right.
True.
And you're going to remember to put in the link to this video in your paper, aren't you?
Definitely. I will cite it.
I thought so, because I know you're very studious and good at these things. And we're all
Yes.
going to do that for
Very
all the time.
responsible.
When we're writing the report, we're going to do the same thing. Okay, I'm going to stop this because now it's getting hokey because I'm just preaching to everyone.
Okay.
We're discussing. So, thanks.
Are we still live?